Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, June 30th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow attendees and speakers and generally be excellent to each other. Before we get started off here today, we usually try to offer an opportunity at the beginning of the meeting for anyone who's new to introduce themselves. So if you'd like to come off of mute or type something into the chat, this is your opportunity. Totally optional. You don't have to say hello, but we would love to hear who you are and a little bit about what you're looking to get out of being with the group today.
Hi, everyone. Not sure if you can hear me okay. I was having some audio.
You're good.
Oh, great. Hi, I'm Tavia. Thank you for letting me be a part of your meeting today.
I invited her.
I work with Paslin. I am actually trying to think about making like a career change, and I was told to really like start working with open source and volunteering, and I approached Paslin and asked like, hey, I don't have much experience with Kubernetes or anything like that, but where is there ways I could get started with learning, like just getting started and volunteering? And so she invited me to this meeting. So I'm going to check it out and see how things go. So thank you all for letting me join you today.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Always excited to have new folks. Anyone else? All right. There's a question for Chris in the chat. It's very important. I'd like to make sure that we get to that before we
Which lights? And sorry for the fan noise. I've been outside for a while, and
I don't hear it. I don't think.
Oh, okay,
And again,
good.
I hear the fan from my computer very strongly. I'm assuming the pink lights, though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I got some Hue Play lights. Philips Hue
okay.
Play. So like they're designed, you can stand them up or lay them flat. So I just laid them flat. Normally, just in here when like it's just me, it's like the Ukrainian flag. But during meetings, I turn it pink because that's a prominent color in the thing above it, which is downtown Detroit at night. So it works.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
And you got some kind of dashboard on your monitor back there or something? Maybe it's just a
picture. B top is running. I'm trying to keep an eye on something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. I see a couple other new folks, I think, on the call. So if you'd like to say hello and introduce yourself, welcome to do so now, either by unmuting or in the chat. You're also welcome to say nothing at all. You do not have to. But I want to leave that open for another minute here. All right. You're welcome to pop in at any time to do that if you want. It's not like you have to do that at the beginning of the meeting. We just set aside time for it, if I remember.
You usually remember.
Usually, lately. There was one stretch there where I was really bad about it, but
well, we would at least get to it at the end at some point.
That's true. We did usually.
That's all that matters.
As long as it's in there somewhere.
Right.
Cool. So let's dive into our agenda for today. I haven't put anything in yet.
So this meeting successfully uploaded.
Oh, yes.
Using the new Zapier automation.
Yay.
So it got put in the right place. Successfully uploaded video to G Drive. Appears to be working. I'll say that. I haven't fully checked in with Nigel yet to be like, are you done? But I can go poke around and look while we're discussing further. But yeah, that's done for now. And yeah, we can continue to figure out how to automate like GitHub approved like PRs to tweets somehow. now that we have the
Our eternal
multi-stage-
challenge.
Yes. Our multi-stage jobs that we can run now, so we can take stuff and reformat it, right? Like I already did that with Nigel had to do something with the file name, and I found a filter that could do that for you, and already implemented that in the paid account. It wasn't available in the free account that he was using, so it's like, boom, there's already one benefit. Date format's correct every time.
Go Team Zapier. Lots of
Yeah.
exciting stuff going on in that lately.
Yeah, like it's gonna get fun with this whole GitHub to Twitter thing, I feel like.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
have another
that'll
update
be
that we
interesting.
should share.
Okay.
But I need some help finding the issue on GitHub. The issue for Contributor Summit leadership position should be open.
Okay.
Could you
Stand
find
by.
that? for me
Yes,
real quick?
I will jump into that channel and get it.
Yeah, that'd be probably the best way to find it.
So if you
Mm.
there is a public summit-staff channel in the CNCF Slack.
If you are interested in helping with Contributor Summit, definitely join that channel.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
So this issue that we have, we do this each time we have a contributor summit. It is how we track folks who have volunteered to take on leadership positions as well as shadows. So a shadow role is going to be someone who is learning the role and with the intention of taking it over. And then we're also introducing the concept of volunteers. I'm trying to encourage everybody to use this terminology.
Yes. Yes.
So shadow is someone who's going to take over. A volunteer is someone who's just going to help out with the work of that position. So for example, there is a comms role for the for the contributor summit. So we as a group are available to help with that, but usually there are folks specifically like as part of the contributor summit group who lead the summit comms, which is usually one of us anyway.
True story.
Haven't.
I volunteered as a shadow, and I think Federico did as well.
Okay, cool.
At least I hope I
haven't-
did. Let me double check that actually.
Here's a look at the issue here. It looks like some of these are already filled in. Do we have a volunteer for social media lead yet? Do we
Oh,
have
like there is one?
do
in
we
here?
have one? Is the question.
Social media isn't necessary. Like that's part of comms, I think.
Oh yeah, the comms, sorry.
Social event is different. Yeah.
I saw social event in the
Right. Like there's normally somebody that knows social media pretty well on the comms team, right? Like that's
Yeah.
an entry in. Amir, what's up?
Hey guys, sorry for interrupting. I wanted to know now it's available to apply for shadow roles or for something like this because I heard the shadow from you guys. So
Oh,
so
in
there's
this
a
group.
couple. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so
Okay.
hang on a second on that. Let's finish this and then we'll go to that. Is that cool?
oh yeah, thank you.
I'll add it to the agenda.
Yes, thank you. So anybody, any questions on like involvement there in the contributor summit shadow room or shadow space? Yes, I will happily shadow comms is what I said. I believe Frederico's in here. FS Munoz.
Natish volunteered to work with content and comms. I don't
Oh,
think
cool.
anyone's volunteered for content. Oh, lead content. But that's
Nice.
content, not comms. Content is like the stuff that goes on in the conference.
Yeah, so
I don't see a volunteer for comms lead.
I think me volunteering to shadow was trying to get somebody else to volunteer to lead.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to necessarily lead again. I want to advise and help and be like, hey, here's all the stuff from last year, copy pasta if you need to, right? Like that's the kind of
Yeah.
role I want to take this time out. And like, oh, you need help with social media, here you go, you know.
Have you had any successful shadows though that would be ready to take on the role?
Gosh, who was it? Let me look in the.
There was someone, wasn't there, last
There
time?
was. Let me look.
There's
in the
someone who's like
CNCF,
involved with
or-
release, I think.
Yes. I forget her name.
You might want to
but
ping them
yes.
to see if they want to do comms lead. If not, one of us can take it, but
Yeah. Oh, Grace
it'd be
went.
good to have someone new. Grace is great.
Yeah. So like, let me ping them and see what's up.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
she's the
for
she's the
Oh,
128 release lead.
oh yeah, probably not then. Probably one of us this time again. You want to co-lead it?
Not gonna happen. I'm not gonna ask the release lead to do this.
Yeah, no.
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 Wow. Good for her.
I'll say
right?
that I'm
Like,
happy to lead or shadow comms.
Okay,
or
cool.
lead or
Like,
volunteer with comms.
So
I'll just say I'm happy to lead. It's gonna happen.
yeah, and KubeCon Chicago, I feel like is gonna have kind of a different vibe than previous NAs, just based off like the way the schedule is. So we'll see how it goes. Very well.
8 a.m. That's what I'm gonna blame for whatever that just was.
Hang on, refresh.
All right. Oh, Avinash, do you want to lead comms?
Oh yeah, great question.
Never mind, you do it. Happy to volunteer.
I would need a co-lead though.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we can
I
do
can
that.
help you. Totally.
I like that idea.
I love this idea now.
Yes.
Like, let's get
Avinash.
3 experts together on this and like do it so good it becomes the model for next time. That's what we need to do. We need to rec
Woo.
shop.
Love it.
Templatize everything, make it super simple, right? Like send it this time of day, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, like we could rock this out totally.
And there's already been a question in the chat about remote volunteering and helping with Contributor Summit. There will be some opportunities for that, at least with the comms role as a volunteer, at least.
Yeah.
Because for comms, we'll be doing, you know, our
Social
usual
media,
Kate's contributors account, social media.
Yeah, emails to Kate's or dev@kates.io. You know, the SIG leads, that kind of stuff. We'll always need help drafting those messages or recrafting them with the right information for this, you know, event. Always need help with stuff like that. Yeah, and we like if we take a copy of last year's doc and just hand that to the volunteers and be like, just get this into shape for this year or this go round, and yeah, off we go.
Pretty much writing social media posts and emails. For the lead, Avinash, you're gonna have to create like a calendar of sorts of like, here are the comms that need to go out when. There are past examples that you can build off of.
Yeah, like the doc itself that I worked off last year actually I just put the dates in there. That way I had everything in one place. I don't know if that worked perfectly last year. I probably should have created a public calendar or something somewhere. So yeah, you can totally shadow remotely. Just speak up on that issue linked above Amir, and we can get you kind of going in comms in general. But for this group, a shadow in this group is expected at some point in the near future, or not near future, at some point in the future, to take on a lead position for that role. So if being a, you know, lead for social media or content or whatever is something you want to do, apply to be a shadow, but you kind of have to have the foresight to know like what you're volunteer for. So come to a few meetings before you say, yeah, I want to shadow this, for example. And you can provide feedback on anything that we say in this meeting. And that way we can get kind of an idea of where you might best fit, for example.
Yeah, so we have several shadow roles available. If someone could find the link to our role
I got it.
handbooks. Thank you. um, so we have leads for events, which is still a thing, which we were discussing. I don't know if we need to talk about that more. What we decided there. We talked
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the Twitter Spaces thing is what we thought about.
Oh yeah.
We might want to
no.
discuss that today because I don't think we've discussed that with Avinash on. Hey,
No, yeah, we should.
but the
let me
other,
slap
I'll put that on
there.
the list.
Let me also put the
Oh no, I have
Mhm.
caps lock on. Events leader, lead role. Twitter Spaces question mark. Anyway,
Yeah.
other other lead roles that we have in our group as a review. So Chris and I are the sub-project leads. We do require that a shadow for our role will have been a lead for one of the other roles in the group
Right,
before
it's like a
becoming a shadow
cascading
for our
thing.
leadership role. So like I said, there's the events lead, there's the social media lead, which is technically me, which I think I have a shadow.
I just opened the page.
We should connect. Was that Natish? For that? I should
don't-
remember what is going
Yeah.
on here. I think it's on the main part of our tree. So there's a link in the chat to this page, which is our group page. Reminder that we've got several new folks on today. So our goal as a group is to make sure that contributors within the Kubernetes community kind of know what's going on. And also that folks outside of the community know about the awesome work that contributors are doing. So we do things like writing blog posts, which we will do updates on here in a little bit, about the work that folks are doing within the project. We also have a Twitter account at Kate's Contributors, where we post contributor news. For example, we post a lot of information about the Contributor Summit and maintainer track stuff going on at KubeCons. We post all the blogs that come out. We make sure to post about release stuff wherever it's necessary. Things that folks within the contributor community would need to know about is our main audience for that Twitter account. Yeah, so it's a little bit of an overview of our group. We also have a bunch of automation and all sorts of other things.
Yes. We have
Yeah.
things to do the things for
to do
us
things.
to an extent.
Yeah.
So yeah, like our social media is backed up by
Buffer.
oh
and
God,
Zapier.
Buffer. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
dropped
Buffer.
the name of the tool that I literally was just in. Yeah, Buffer is enabled there, so we have some automation that can go ahead and just drop stuff in the queues for us when new blog posts come out. But there's always room for new ideas there, right? Like maybe more blogs or more, feeds or some kind of curation of content. We've done I know Caslin has done some manual posting, but most of our posts kind of are intentionally automated.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I
Yeah.
already put that in there. Wonderful. Yeah, so you can see the list here of our lead roles. Like I said, sub-project lead, you need to have been a lead for one of the others first. Oh, we don't have a link on that. We should fix that.
Yeah.
The other ones link out to the role handbook where you can learn more about what you would need to do in order to be this role. Here. So we've got social media, tech, which is about automation and stuff. Granted, Atarva and Imran haven't been around, nor has Mark, so we might need to update this. Events lead, Avinash, which we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Blogging coordinator, Federico, who is also not on today, but he has created guidelines for how we write blog posts, the whole process for that, and kind of coordinates that work. So if you're interested in writing blog posts, Federico is a good person to know.
Federico's awesome, by the way.
I thought
Great person to
I
work
removed
with.
this and I didn't do the update right somehow. So
Oh.
storytellers and other members was just an opportunity for anyone in the group to like put their name in there, but I'm gonna remove that, so don't think about that.
Well, I'll just do that right now because we've got to add a link.
I did a PR for this, but I guess I didn't do the
Is it
branching
still
right
open?
somehow.
Update readme.
I mean, it must have gone to my fork instead of this branch or something.
Oh yeah, so you just need to
I must
push.
have done that wrong.
Yeah, you just need to
That was like
mhm.
months ago.
Oh,
Anyway,
so what you're saying is I could just go ahead and edit it. Let me just do that. Check me out a repo here, folks.
so volunteering for the contributor summit can be done remotely. Shadowing, I don't know, will depend on the role. Some of the roles require on-site, some of them don't. Most of them do, but columns kind of doesn't really need to be, but kind of also does need to be.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's good to have somebody with social media capabilities on the
On
room.
site.
Yeah.
So that we can like tweet about because we adjust the schedule on site. So it's good to have someone on site, but it doesn't need to be the lead.
I'll be right
Depends
back.
on the
Dog needs to go
expertise of
out.
people involved. Anyway, yes. Thank you. Cool. So we talked about Contributor Summit, granted probably very confusingly, and also about lead roles in our group. Only other lead we've got on today is you, Avinash. And we had talked about that we want to update the handbooks with additional terminology updates. That shadow means you are going to take over the lead role. A contributor is just someone who's part of our group and does stuff for us. And that is an a-okay thing to be. And as far as learning how to do things within our group, you just join the meetings. We all help each other here. So you kind of get a sense for it over time is the idea. It can be kind of confusing at first. I hope it's not too terrible today. Cool. So I guess the next thing that we want to talk about is the events lead role. So we can go ahead and start talking about that while Chris is out and about. If you have any questions at any time or anything, feel free to post in the chat or interrupt. Obviously, we are a very casual meeting. So
Okay.
for events lead role, Avinash, I don't know where your understanding is at on this, but a few times in this meeting, you had mentioned, like, do we still need this role because the regular community meeting is not a thing anymore, which was one of the main responsibilities of the events lead role. And we had said, well, maybe not. Maybe you should consider looking for another role within the group. But then someone suggested that we should run Twitter Spaces. And we were like, you know what? That's kind of an event. So maybe that should be part of events lead, though maybe it should be part of social media lead as well. Anyway, what are your thoughts about Twitter Spaces, Avinash, or about the events lead role in general?
We do have the conversation about this. I think last week when I came over here, and I think it was decided that me and Chris would schedule a call and have a talk on that, but we couldn't. So
I know we mentioned aligning Twitter Spaces with blog posts. That would be a good way to like start them out. Was that discussed?
No, I don't think so. And also we were
That's
quite confused about the platform. Are we gonna go with Twitter? Was the question.
Yeah, like I don't think. I mean, most of our audience is going to be on Twitter, I feel like, but there's just from, completely anecdotal. Most of the people that I follow on Twitter, like the people that I like, whenever I reset my account last and refollowed everybody, like those first follow people, most of them are off Twitter now. And they're just, not going to get our messaging. So we probably need to figure out how to do something like direct to the Kubernetes Reddit potentially. And I know there's some live chatting capability in Reddit as well. So like there's so many more options now too. But I do like the idea of, hey, this blog post just came out. Let's do a thing. And whatever that thing could be, maybe we could repackage it and do it multiple ways or simultaneously to multiple places. Who knows? Sky's kind of the limit there.
I do like the idea.
Yeah, so it was more about how about converting spotlights into Twitter Spaces where the maintainers come and they talk about, right?
Yeah.
Well, not really converting them, but in addition.
Yeah,
to.
in
There
addition
you
to
go.
that.
Yeah. Because then we could go back and update the blog post. Oh, we did a Twitter space on this. Here's like the, the link to the MP3 file or whatever,
That's true.
or embed it. You can do that with HTML5 now. It's kind of cool.
I love the idea. We just got to execute on it, I think. So.
And like, I don't know if we have a place to put large files like that. So that could get interesting too.
Our Drive.
Yeah, we should try it out. I think we should give it a go. And like,
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to set it up like a normal kind of live stream where there's like a host, potentially a co-host. It depends how many people come on, right? Like, you don't really want more than 5 people, I think, talking in a Twitter space, right? So like, we kind of need to think about like best practices, guidelines, and how to set these up for success from like a production standpoint. So like, what should our guests expect? How do people listen to it? All these things and all the best ways to maximize Twitter spaces need to be considered as we're, trying to do this. And we can build it out as we go. I'm not saying we have to do all this in advance. I'm just saying like we need to keep very good documentation together as we go.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. We can initially start up with writing something and then maybe collaborate and add descriptions to it.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea to start.
So I know from running live streams at Red Hat for a long time that like getting guest schedules to coordinate for, a specific date, like you really kind of have to say like, this is when we're going to do it. Can you join us? Or you can, do it as like, whatever the tool is we use nowadays for selecting meeting times. You could do that too and bring guests on, but you kind of have to have a good structure in place and a good cadence in place, I feel like, before you start bringing guests in, other than like onesie twosie types. So like if you're bringing in like 3 SIG leads, right? Like you're going to need a good tight system for that. So as we go, we can build up to that, I guess, is kind of the goal. And when I say constant cadence, it could be once a month. That's fine. And this could kind of supplement the community meeting to an extent.
Well, we don't have the community meeting anymore.
That's what I mean, right? Like,
yeah.
Instead of we do this,
Yeah.
And it could be that somebody does want to do this regularly as a community thing and get updates from folks again. Who knows?
Yeah. So when we go for SIG spotlights, maybe we should see if there's one in a good time frame to target as the first one.
I mean,
or if
we can
have
go back
visibility
in
that far
time.
out. That's true. You can do ones that are already out, so you can do it whenever you want.
Yeah. You can really start small if you want and go back to like our first SIG spotlight and go from there.
At least like the Windows one that I did is pretty old at this point and it hasn't been redone. So
yeah, like we could
That'd be
refresh
new.
it with new leads and new everything else, right?
I feel like we would need someone to like
Coordinate.
volunteer to do an update for that.
Yeah.
Like do an update for the blog posts in addition to that. I mean, we don't have to.
Yeah, no, we don't have to. I don't think we need to.
Yeah.
Like the update is, hey, we did this thing, go here, or it's embedded and we figure out where to store MP3 files so we can just have them on a CDN and get slurped up so people can play it live in their browser, whatever.
All right. Sounds like a plan to me. Sounds like you'll just need to work out the details of how you want to do it.
Yeah, Avinash, if you want to start like a live content documentation doc of some sort, we can start, like, I can start throwing notes and ideas and stuff in there, and just kind of general glossary and guide kind of thing, and then we can actually like build out some documentation from that, I feel like. Cool.
That sounds good to me. Just question that I had in my mind is, if I stick to this role, am I supposed to be the host as well for the streams?
Not necessarily. We can, internally divvy that up if we need to. And it should not be like the same person all the time, I feel like. Unless you want that role.
As a lead, I think your role would be to make sure that someone is doing that.
Yeah, like you're kind of the producer of this, right? Like, even though like it's not like a huge production, there's going to be some coordination that has to happen, to get people on at the right time. And, you'll need somebody to help with social media to kind of promote it and all that other stuff. So
that's why it makes sense to be in events.
yeah, exactly. Like live content event kind of thing.
Yeah.
We have experience on this team. Like, I know Kaslin's done live streams. I've done live streams. It's pretty much the same kind of concept. It's just audio only.
Sounds good. Should we move on?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sorry, one last thing. I'll start a doc
Please,
in the
yes.
actual contributor comms drive, and we can just work from that.
That's a good idea. We
Yeah.
should put the link.
Yeah.
I guess you all can communicate over Slack. Sounds good. I put one more thing in here. Josh Burkus pinged us in Slack. So at KubeCon during the keynotes, they usually have an opportunity for all of the graduated projects. They've started doing this the last couple of years. All of the graduated projects to give like a 30-second update about what's going on with the project. He pinged us about that in contributor comms. Hadn't thought about that being a thing that we would be involved with, but we could do that.
We could isn't that like the 1 or 2 minute update that we see kind of round robin style?
Exactly. Yeah. They're super short. He said 30
They're
seconds.
super short. They're super easy, right? Like the hardest part is figuring out how much you can say in 30 seconds.
Yes. So I was telling him like, we need to figure out what updates are the priority to share. So
the fact we exist, I think, is probably
Kubernetes exists.
No, the Kubernetes contributor comms team exists, right? Like,
well, I don't know. I don't think that's really the thing for those updates. It's like the project updates. It's like 1.28 came out.
Yeah,
we had these updates. That's what I think it should be.
Would we be doing it for the whole SIG or just as the sub project?
We would be doing it for the whole project.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I mean, technically, who's better to do it? The chairs, but they're not over everything. But as contributor comms, that is kind of our scope.
Right? Like that's in scope. Here we go.
Never thought about this. I'm trying to work with Josh to figure out. Nervous about this, right?
I'm open to doing this. I'm very open to doing this, right? Like if need be.
Yeah. It's due by July 14th.
Oh shit. Okay, so like we need to. Wow.
It's exciting, but terrifying.
I need to go figure out what was said last time. Like you're talking about Kubernetes, right? Like the whole damn Kates thing. Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing here. I need to go back and see last year's little bit about that and figure out if it's logistically possible to do in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And if we think this should be part of our group going forward, and if we need documentation for that, and
yeah, all that fun stuff.
So Chris and I will lead figuring out what the heck is going on with this request, and we'll keep the group updated. I think that's how we should approach this.
Okay. God, where do the KubeCon videos live? CNCF, Slack? Probably. Or not Slack, YouTube. Jesus. You got my heart going
um,
there for a second there, Chasm. I gotta check my blood pressure after this.
I know, right? When he sent that to our group, I was like,
damn.
ah, terrifying. Don't worry,
I
it's
mean, it's the same kind
only
of terrifying as sending an email to everybody in the project, right? Like,
except
yeah.
maybe a little worse.
Right. Like, just a smidge.
Yeah, it's only giving a 30-second update about the entirety of the Kubernetes project in front of
My God. And
15,000 of our closest friends.
we got to plug
Live
the Kate's
or not,
contributors.
well,
account.
pre-recorded.
Yeah, I mean, it's pre-recorded, so like we can stick the take. I don't think that's going to be the problem. It's the can we
Alongside
get all the
all of
info?
the other projects in the CNCF representing the entire project.
Yeah.
It's scary. We'll work on that. Any other new items or updates and big wins? After that, we only have like 15 minutes left, so let's go to our table, or not table, our board. I still have trouble with this. It's been months.
But you did the
Chris,
table for months.
Yes, question, comment.
yeah, so I was just looking at the previous meet, and there was this comment that we need to delete our previous board.
Mm,
So
Oh,
yeah. Who owns that?
is there a way to delete that?
Yeah, there's got to be a way.
Is the way to delete that
Mm,
pinging
yeah. I don't. Is this managed?
pinging Matt
in
out of
GitHub
retirement?
management? Let me open it. Maybe I have rights on it. I don't know.
I can edit the name of the board.
Well, that's encouraging.
Close project.
I think
Yes,
in the
that would probably be it. Sorry, go
Should I
ahead.
try clicking on it? It's not like we use this.
Nah, blow it away.
Are you sure you want to close this? Closing this will pause automation. What else does it do? Should I just do it?
Anything? Yeah.
Is
go
it going to be
ahead.
locked forever and still exist like a Facebook group?
I hope not.
Whatever. Nobody looks at it anyway. I don't know what I just did, but I did
marked
something.
Closed. Yeah, it's just marked as closed. That's all.
No, I guess I can still edit it too. So, yeah.
I mean, there could be a Reaper thing that comes along and kills it. Who knows?
Thank you. Good catch, Avinash. Are there any other things in those notes that we should pay attention to?
Yeah.
Where was that? I grabbed it.
What was I looking up on
Here,
GitHub?
may need to delete. Gonna update that. Put it in updates.
Search.
Closed. All right. Good catch. With that, I will move on into our actual board.
Here's a. Well, this is 17 and a half minutes. This can't be the right video.
All right. I think that means I can go over the board stuff then.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So all good. It's a good indicator of what's going on. So in ready for review, we actually have a few things. We have update storytelling resources to blogging resources. Planning to add a README to make content easier to find, add info about image resources and how to use them. Who's going to work on it during June 16th? Oh no. Why does it say project closed here?
Oh. What the hell?
Did I just close our entire repo?
How is that interconnected in any way, shape, or form? I guess unclose it? Can you unclose it? Oh, shit.
Reopen and sync.
There we go. We'll figure
Learning
that
in
out
public.
later. GitHub delete
I reopened it.
project board. That's what I was searching for. Deleting a project board. Okay.
We don't have to figure that out.
No, I
this
got it right
second,
here.
But project reopened.
Yay. Good to know. Let's see. Yeah.
We do only have 15 minutes, and I do want to get through the board.
Oh, okay. So it says delete project. I'm not doing that.
No, we're not doing that. So no, we are not deleting that board.
No, not
It
happening.
will continue to exist. Maybe we
yeah.
should merge it with the.
Can we?
I don't know what the other board's designation is. Then, if it would also close the whole project.
Yeah. How are these affiliated in any way? I don't know. We need like a GitHub management, like somebody to go chase that down.
Yeah.
I'll ping the channel real quick.
Anyway, we don't use it, so we can continue to just ignore it. But
yeah, we can't ignore it.
Anyway, I want to get through this. We have 13 minutes left. So first item that's ready for review, updating storytelling resources to blogging resources. And I had tried to open that, and then it had a scary message. All right, storytelling resources. So we have our blog guidelines in there last month. Pull request last month.
Tom's name changed somewhere.
Yeah, that was just a update. I don't know what Federico has done in this that needs reviewing. So we should ping Federico and ask him what needs reviewing.
Well, it says June 16th, gonna work on this week. Planning to add README file, so it says ready for review.
It does, but
but
the link that we have here does not take us to whatever needs review. So
no. Okay, weird. All right, we need to ask him later.
Yeah, we should put it in the Slack. You want to go ahead and just like put a ping in the Slack to say, hey, Federico.
Maybe not today.
Yeah, fair enough. Though if we don't do it today, I will forget. But we also don't want to be working on it today.
We'll set a reminder. So
that's a good idea. Granted, I still need a reminder to set up our sync to make sure that we do some of the subproject lead stuff. Anyway, another item on our board that is supposedly, oh, here it is. Here's the thing that, never mind.
There you go.
Maybe if we just keep reading. All right, so this must be what's ready for.
Link.
Yeah. Eventually consistent.
Yeah. Distributed.
All right, so Federico has created a new README for the storytelling directory, which we wanted to rename to blogging resources instead of storytelling resources.
He still
that is really the main thing.
Storytelling resources, though. Yeah, okay. I'll leave a comment.
I'm gonna, what comment are you leaving?
Please update to blogging resources.
Yeah. I was gonna be like, weren't we gonna update this to blogging resources? Because the issue was that nobody knows what storytelling means. Everyone, you are storytellers.
Exactly.
As communications contributors, your job is to tell stories about what is going on in the community through blog posts and social media posts and all that kind of stuff. So the idea at the beginning of this group's creation was that everyone was a storyteller. We all tell these stories about what's going on. So we named things storytelling, and now nobody knows what that means. So it just means writing blog posts and social media posts and stuff. So what we're talking about here is renaming that to blogging resources so that people know that it's about writing things, and adding some updated stuff about it here in the README, I guess. Yeah, kind of a guideline for like, here are the things that are in that repo, because it doesn't have a README right now. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So this is looking pretty good to me. Especially new folks who are looking for ways to get started. If you want to review that and see if it helps you understand what's going on in this group a little bit more, that would be useful feedback. Yes, hello, kitten. Kitten is upset. Anyway, so I'm going to move on from that. We only have 9 minutes left. Can I get through the board? So SIG CLI is ready for review. So if any folks in here are looking for an action item to take right this moment, there is a blog post in need of review. You are most welcome to do so. You don't have to have any expertise about the project in order to do this. Just like a proofread, like grammar and stuff would be lovely. And seeing if you learned something from it would be lovely. So it is on HackMD. You can find the information here. I put it in the chat. I can put it in the notes as an update. SIG CLI Spotlight blog needs review. If you're going to do that, please let us know so that we can help each other know what's going on. Make sure that our pit knows that a review has happened, and keep each other accountable if we need accountability buddies. Because if I'm going to try and do that, I need someone to help me. All right, 7 minutes left. Let's see if we can get through in progress. There's a lot of in progress items. Case study based on CDN article.
So that was just an idea from last week or 2 weeks ago that I came up with.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the process hasn't started yet. It's still in the idea stage, basically. So I wouldn't.
I'm going to move
call
it back
in
to do.
progress. Yeah, I would not call it in progress yet.
Twitter, document in Slack how to get a tweet out. We were just full of ideas 2 weeks ago, clearly.
So like we
That is
have
a
the
good idea.
social media guidelines, but I don't know if that is gonna tell you.
Because we have it in
exactly how.
GitHub, but I think we were saying we want a post in Slack that's like pinned that says how to do a tweet.
Right. Yeah, like this is what you need to do to get a tweet.
In Slack message question mark.
Can we just
Pinned
pin the
Slack
link,
message. What link?
Can we just pin the what?
the guideline link? Or do we
yeah,
have a guideline
totally.
link?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
We do. We might want a bit more information depending on what process we want people to use. Probably just ping us in Slack, right? Some buffer access has to do it.
At contributor comms, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to call that in progress.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I should put in Slack and in the chat. Here's a service for that, for Zapier, the Twitter integration. It's like, it's complicated.
Yeah,
because we use Buffer instead of Twitter directly.
But maybe there is a buffer integration. But getting those integration into Slack, how hard is that?
Yeah, we really like being pinged. +1 to that. I mean, at least I do.
Yeah, I understand the normal workflow for this thing is kind of like, hey, submit a form kind of deal. Like maybe that's the right way to go. I don't know.
But always good to know that those integration tools exist. Yeah, so thank you for sharing that.
Let me
because
see
we're
if there's
still
a
trying to
buffer
figure
one.
this out.
Yeah, if there's a
That's
buffer
complicated,
one,
and we have 5 minutes left, so I'm not going to get deep into that.
Oh, there is a buffer integration for Slack. So yeah, we could totally go from Slack to Buffer. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, but we wanted that whole GitHub workflow, but we're not going to have that. I don't know what we do.
We
with the
could,
Zap-
we might
Well, we
have
already
that
have the
stuff. We might
Zapier
be able to
integration for
have
the
that.
blog posts.
Right, like that's
Can we do
easy.
like Slack to no that would
Yeah,
be weird.
we
and
could do
wouldn't work.
Slack to buffer drafts.
Yeah, I guess we do the approval step in Buffer.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a good idea.
either that, or it's a form or a ping in Slack, right? Like, there's ways to do this. There's a lot of ways to do this, but I would like to try the GitHub route first. But I'm bookmarking this now for
The
sure.
question we have asked for like literal years now. What
Years,
is our
yeah.
workflow?
Right.
Yeah, if we use different tools, it's complicated. That is our whole tech lead issue. Sounds like Yash wants to be a tech shadow, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yash.
Oh, Yash, I think we had discussed social media shadowing, but maybe you should consider tech shadow.
Yeah. I mean, if you're good at automating stuff, this is tech shadows where you should be.
Or at least if you care.
Or if you're good at Hugo, for example, that would be another thing we,
Or
would
if
like
you
in a
want to
tech
be
lead.
good at these things.
Yes. I can teach you to swim in Hugo land.
Yeah.
At least with the developer side.
I'm gonna add that to the notes. I
Mm,
only have 3
thank
minutes
you.
left and we're not gonna get through the board, but this is worth adding. I
Agreed.
should consider tech shadow. We should have a meeting. But we've got July 4th next week. But we need to get
I'm
together
around.
the
I'm
repo,
around.
figure
Yeah.
out what went wrong with my PR and update some of the shadow roles and stuff.
Okay. When we get off
We have
this,
some work to do.
well, after this record, oh shoot, I'll ping you in Slack.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. 2 minutes. Guidelines for sensitive end user impacting comms. Maybe someday that will happen.
Right.
Add all use cases for Zapier automation. Normally we would do in-depth reviews of what's going on with our spotlights, but we don't really have time today. So if you are working on a spotlight, please add your updates in Slack. I know for me, I'll do mine real quick because I'm leading this. FICA sent me questions for the SIG ContribEx spotlight over a month ago. And I finally started working on those this morning. So that will happen.
Who is your
SIG
other
node
co-lead?
looks yeah. So she worded it such that it's like directed at me.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's not good.
yeah, we should probably reword it. I'll work with FICA on that.
Yeah. All right. Sadly, I have to go. I'm sorry.
Understandable. I think you've done enough for today.
Okay.
That sounds
Actually,
worse than it
I'll
is.
give you 2 more minutes, but here.
I don't think there's anything else you desperately need to do. So if you need to go, I think it's all right. I'll continue finishing these up, at least the in progress items. So SIG release is also one that Nitish is working on. So Nitish is working on node and release. We should probably ping him in Slack to see what his updates are. Investigating Twitter Spaces is ongoing. You and Avinash are working on that. I would update that, but I can't. I don't have time. Events lead shadow requirements. All of the shadow requirement things need to get done by the leads, which only Avinash is on today. Hi, Avinash. Yeah, and that's all of our in progress items. So I think that's good enough. None of our to-do items are going to move into in progress right now. So let me update that. Investigate Twitter Spaces. Chris and Avinash are working on this. Oh, I should add assignees. Chris.
Are you two not available for the next meet? Is that what you were talking about?
No, I'll be here.
No, we'll be on. Just Monday
There's
and
a-
Tuesday, at least I'm
Yeah.
out.
Same. There's a.
So I was saying that we need to do like a meeting outside of our regular meet.
Mhm.
We need to figure that out.
July 4th is an American holiday. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Ah,
So we'll be on for our Friday meeting, but we might not be around Monday and Tuesday. So it might be hard for us to set up a meeting outside of our regular meeting, but we'll figure it out on Slack. So I'm going to call that good for our meeting for today. Thank you all very much for
Yay.
joining. I am going to stop the recording now. Goodbye, YouTube.